Okay, good morning, my beautiful limitless peeps. I am doing a twofer because I was trying to stream from Zoom into my Facebook, and for some reason it was acting up today. So here we go. Found another way because I want to share this on YouTube, and yeah. So there is always a way whenever you have an intention to make something happen. So that's one lesson. Oh, hang on. Okay, I thought I'd started the live over here. Here we go. All right. Good morning, my beautiful limitless peeps. On the recording, we're going to do something a little different, and we are live on Becoming Limitless Master Anxiety, the Facebook group. So good morning, everyone. As usual, I got my cup of Joe here, which is fabulous. Shade grown, organic, fair trade, all the good stuff, So because you have got to nourish this temple that you're carrying around that serves us so well when we take good care of it. And well, first of all, for those who don't know me yet, my name is Karin Weiri. I do a lot of things. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, breakthrough life coach, budding author. I host a radio show called Shift Happens on Voice America, which we will be airing today, Tuesday, May 4th at 2 p.m. You can always catch it on demand as well. Today we're going to talk about pain, and I have my wonderful friend and massage therapist, Caroline Sequin, who is going to be joining me on there talking about what can we do about pain, because there are many other ways than pills and surgery. So I'm always a huge proponent of pushing those things as far out as possible until we absolutely need to. Not that I'm a medical person, but I do work in the mental health field where a lot of people do use pharmaceuticals. Good morning. Say hello, whoever you are. Let me know you're here. I can see you, but I don't know who you are. But today, and really my mission in my life is a couple of things. One, I want to bust as many myths as I possibly can about what we are capable of doing and becoming, hence the title of this group, Becoming Limitless and Master Anxiety, because so many people, too many people suffer so horribly with anxiety, and it's a horrible, horrible way to go through life. And there is a whole other way of going about it. So, and there are many causes of anxiety as well as pain, emotional and physical pain. In fact, that's one of the things we're going to be talking about on Shift Happens this afternoon, how a lot of pain actually stems from an emotional place. So many times when we resolve the emotional piece, then the physical pain is either greatly reduced or disappears altogether. And that's one of the things that I see very frequently when I use my modality that I use, because it focuses in on emotions and cognitions as well as the physical body. And as we're processing through different events that have gotten stuck in our mind and in our psyche and in our body, then it physically leaves the body, believe it or not. It's just something that has to be experienced in order to truly understand it. And even when people, they have experienced it, it's, they're still going, I don't know what just happened, but I like it. Oh, good morning, Gloria. Happy Tuesday. So that's one myth that I want to bust is, that we are so much more than we are being told. So much more. And I really need that message to come out in the world. Push it out there because you need it. I need it. Everybody needs it. And it's a beautiful thing. The other thing is that I want to prove, always good to see your smile too, Gloria. Thank you. And the other thing is too that I want to prove there are all these people, we have been told and taught how, oh, as we get old, we just fall apart and this, that, and the other. Well, yeah, there is something to that. However, the thing that we're not being told is there is so much that we can do to prevent that or to slow that. Our cells, yes, we're more than we can imagine. Let's stretch. Woo! Yes, Gloria, that's right. So I have heard and read scientists say that our cells, our DNA is actually designed to live 120 years. Now, to us, that's just mind blowing that we don't think that way. So Gloria says, I was interviewing a successful man, 72 yesterday, who said, I've just begun at 65. That made me feel great. Yes, exactly. And there's a book out there that I need to find and I need to get it and read it. I think it's called Blue Zones. And those are different areas in the world where people, there are tons of centenarians. So they talk about their lifestyle and whatnot. And and of course, what does that entail? It's so basic, so basic, a lot of it. First of all, we have to eat good foods. We can't eat all this crappy processed food that we have. We have to, if you can pick it off of the tree or pull it out of the ground and then eat it right there, that's obviously the very, very best. Organic, it makes sense to me. If we pour poison on the foods, yes, we don't want bugs and all that stuff to eat up our foods before we get to it. However, and that's where I have learned about permaculture, which I actually at some point want to do. You can get certified in it and whatnot. So I think that would be pretty cool. And that's a way of gardening where what you have to do is tiny, just a little bit, because we think about gardening as like, oh my God, it's hours and hours out there. But what they do with permaculture is to, plant things that grow well together, that support each other, use plants that attract all the pollinators and detract all the bugs, bring in different kinds of like chicken and bats and all that kind of stuff that will eat all the pests. So, I don't know. I haven't chatted with Zing about permaculture, but I interviewed somebody named Jim Gale. He's a local guy over here, and he designs and puts installs permaculture. He was actually on Del Bigtree and installed permaculture for him at his business. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. So what I do is anytime I come across something, of course, exercise, I'm sorry, let me finish my thought. Of course, we have to exercise, we have to move our bodies are designed to move. And one of the things that happens is that, many times when they start hurting, then they want to move less. And of course you have to, be cognizant of things, but the less we move, the more we start to hurt. And many times it's literally about finding ways to go about getting started on moving and, eating eating in a way that is anti-inflammatory, because as opposed to the inflammatory, and alkaline, eating and drinking alkaline, because our cells start to deteriorate in an acidic environment. So there are ways that we can treat our water so it becomes more alkaline. There are foods that are more acidic versus alkaline. So when we get into some of that, then we can also support our body, because the thing that I always say is that our bodies are designed to move towards health as long as we provide it with an environment that promotes health. So when I come across things that I see and understand and hear and know and then experience myself that is promoting our health, then I'm all over it. And one of the things I'm so excited about is frequency, and we are all energy. When I say that, everybody's nods their head. It's like, yep, everybody knows that, right? And so, and every part of us has a certain frequency. Our different mood states vibrate at different frequencies. So actually our words very much tell where on the spectrum that our emotions are. So if I'm feeling down and depressed, depressed and sad and grief and shame and all those feelings that don't feel good, they're heavy, and we feel, and you hear it in how we speak and in the body posture and everything. And you can see people stressed out. When they're stressed out, they just look older. And I've seen sometimes in a couple of the retreats that I did, I've did 3 retreats, was gonna do another one. And then, last year happened, 2020. So I'm not even gonna get into that. But I've seen how people look when they walk in and how when they leave, just in a one-day retreat, how they look totally like they've been on a week's vacation and the stress has just been washed off of them and they're relaxed, and there's all this beauty, inner beauty that shines out when we manage stress, which is another part of what is a big piece of managing our health. Because and I was at an event that has to do with the frequency that I'm going to share with you in a little bit, where Doc Steve was. I don't know if you know Doc Steve. I personally hadn't heard of him, but apparently he's he was the first one who started a holistic center. I think it was over here on the East Coast. Now he's over on the West Coast. He works a lot with all the celebrities and whatnot with frequency therapy. He's been in frequency therapy for 19 years and has 4 PhDs. I don't know how anybody does that, because just doing one is, that would just kill me. But anyway, he has 4. So, so he was there talking about, frequency therapy, and I lost my train of thought. But what frequency therapy does is a way of stimulating our cells. There are different ways of providing frequency therapy. Way back in the day, and still, of course, people have used frequency therapy with sound. We have sound frequencies and voice. We can use our voice. As a matter of fact, when I was going through prenatal yoga, our instructor, she taught us to do a very deep, and then just and when you do that, you can feel the vibrations going through you. And the deeper voice is very calming, as opposed to a high pitched, that's very kind of piercing and can get people a little hysterical. Oh, which reminds me of, I was talking about how the heavy negative thoughts are heavy and deep, and they vibrate on a low frequency. Whereas when we're happy and we feel loved and we're joyful and all those are high frequency emotions and vibrations up there. So we are literally oscillators. Markus Schmieke, he is a German genius who is the inventor of the frequency therapy device that I use for myself, my clients, my family. And he was talking at the event through video, how, we are all oscillators, that I usually say we're all radio frequency transmitters. We're sending radio signals out and we're receiving signals in. And people who are more sensitive are more aware and cognizant of it. Everybody else just gets it subconsciously. That feeling when you walk in someplace and somebody has had an argument, or you can tell that people might not be sharing how they're feeling, but you can tell they're not quite right. They got something heavy that they're carrying. Another couple of examples of how stress affects us, I've seen sometimes where there was this particular one woman that I was working with who had lost her husband. And since she'd lost her husband, it was really hard for her to see him go through the death process, dying of cancer and all that. And she took that all upon her, and she was not able to sleep. She wasn't able to sit still. She started drinking, all that, and got in trouble at work. So she was sent to me. And in one session, we went right through a particular event during his death process that really stood out in her mind. And I think it was the following week that I saw her. It was one of those, again, she looked like she'd been on a week's vacation or 2 weeks vacation, and now she was able to sleep. She felt so good. She looked really amazing. She was able to sit and be still and be calm, all because we cleared that one incident. So when I came across this frequency therapy a year ago, this is the little device. This thing is literally changing people's lives in so many ways. And I will give you a couple of, it works on different levels. One, it can work on the microcurrent level, where I have these cords that attach. I'm not going to unroll it right now, but the black are bands that you can put on around your wrist, and then it has the cords that attach to the device, and then it's providing microcurrent. Microcurrents is how our cells communicate with each other through the cell membranes. The cell membrane has a certain voltage. The scientists have been able to measure that a healthy young cell membrane voltage has a certain voltage, 70 point something. And then, as it gets older, or if it gets inflamed, then it has a different voltage. If it gets to where it's starting to produce cancer, it has a different voltage, and so on and so forth. So basically what this does is it helps keep measures the cell membrane voltage on the microcurrent use, and then stimulates it so that it gets it back into homeostasis. So it's really works on so many levels, and it's basically like an anti-aging, but it's FDA approved in the US for pain. And pain is something that so many people suffer with. And there was a woman at the event that I went to Saturday, the road show, because it's a year since this particular product came onto the US market. She had severe neuropathy, and she could not feel her legs. It was debilitating for her. And when she got this and she used it for 3 days, then she started having feeling back in her legs, and she is now fully capable of moving around and whatnot. I think she was the one that said, then it was several weeks before she felt pain again. Then she ran another program. I mean, I use this every day on myself, as prevention, as everything. and so, but there are so many, 130 programs that it runs from the organs to nerves to mental programs to job programs, staying focused, learning, helping people learn better and retain and focus and deal with test anxiety and all those different kinds of things. There was actually Doc Steve, he shared that he had been in a near fatal car accident some years ago, and there was some long-term nerve damage in his foot, in his ankle, so where it was hard for him to move his foot from the pedal to the brake. And he actually was almost in 4 different accidents after that because he couldn't move his foot like that. So he stopped driving for 4 years. And let's keep in mind that he was sharing that he himself has all these tens of thousands of dollars worth of frequency devices in his office that he uses in his treatment, his whole well-being treatment center. And he got better, but he still wasn't able to get him that last piece of the way. And he was approached by this company, and he started using it, and he found that that there was a nerve meridian program, and he ran that 3 consecutive days. And on the 4th day, he decided, you know what, let me see. He didn't have any pain, and he decided to ask a friend if the friend would go with him. He wanted to see if he could drive. And because if he couldn't drive, then the friend would be there to take over and drive for him. And sure enough, he was able to drive 20 minutes to the restaurant, and he's been able to drive ever since, all because of this device. For me personally, I've used it with my son. He's an athlete. He's 16 years old. One time he fouled the baseball off of the bat, and it hit him on the shin, 80 miles per hour. That really hurts. And that was on a Thursday night. And then I heard, I was talking with him because this also works. I had the one that works distance, so I don't have to be with the person in order to be able to send frequencies, because it has a quantum sensor in there. So we're talking about the information field, and it gets kind of scientific, but energy can go anywhere. It's kind of like you pick up your cell phone and you hit some buttons, and next thing you know, somebody anywhere in the world, the signal reaches them, right? And we don't think twice about that. It's like, oh yeah, of course, that I don't know how it works, but it works, and I know it, and I don't question it, and I just use my phone, right? Well, this is like that, just on our body, on a physical body level. So I sent him some frequencies that night. Friday morning, I sent him some more frequencies, and then I texted him because he was with his dad, and then he texted back, oh my God. He said he was at school. When I sent him the text, it reminded him all of a sudden, oh, wow, wait a minute, my leg isn't hurting anymore. It was hurting in the morning, and now it wasn't hurting. And so I said, all right, cool, I'm gonna send you one more set of frequencies. And then I didn't hear from him. I saw him Saturday. I said, hey, let me see your leg. And he'd totally forgotten about it by then. So he was digging through his hairy leg and couldn't find it. Finally, we found 4 little red or pink dots. That was from the seams of the baseball that had imprinted itself on his leg, but there was no bruising, there was no swelling, there was no pain. This was from Thursday evening to Saturday, kind of noonish. Mind blowing. And then here a month ago, he cut his finger like right in here. It was a deep open cut, didn't cut any nerves or muscles or anything like that. Thank God. We didn't see the bone or anything like that. But I was running frequencies on him throughout this whole month. And I'm not a nurse, but my nurse neighbor, she's a retired nurse, saw it just the other day. And she's like, wow, this is healing so beautifully. She said, you can tell that it's healing from the inside out. And she said that there's no red around the edge. I guess that usually there is, but she was just really impressed with how this is healing. So I could go on and on and on. People who have fibromyalgia and muscular sclerosis, who suffer with a lot of pain, who are using this, and they are able to get rid of their pain and function and live, and get clear-headed, and anxiety and stress and depression and all PTSD. So many people are getting help with this as well. So this is just absolutely incredible. And this is why I love having this for myself. I love having this for my clients. I love having this for my family. And in fact, I also learned this weekend when I went to the event that there is a bioenergetic revitalization program on here. And what that does, it has the frequencies of our stem cells. Yeah, you know about stem cells, even if you don't know a lot about them, but you know that there are a lot of people who are getting them and are paying tens of thousands of dollars and going to other countries to get it. This device has it right there in your little hand. And so this is just unbelievable and such a beautiful thing to be able to have for yourself and for your family. And so if you want to learn more about it, reach out to me. I am happy to give demonstrations, and actually thinking about doing a group thing so that we can try it out and learn more about it for those who are interested in adding frequency therapy to your repertoire. All right, thank you for jumping on, and have a fabulous rest of your day.